What's going on, everybody? It's your boy M.I.C back in here with another YouTube video. Today we're going to be talking about realignment. All right, now what is realignment? Realignment is when you take a move that is linear, something like forward neutral 2 with king, or maybe forward 4. You take a move that otherwise would be linear and the opponent could step it to its weaker side. Some moves don't even have tracking whatsoever, and it makes it that your move whiffs and they are able to counter with a whiff punisher. What realignment does is it allows you to make that track. Various ways to do this are you could do forward. Forward will make your move align with wherever the character goes. So if the character sidesteps to the left or to the right, you can just press forward and be realigned with the character. Another way you can realign your movement is if they are stepping into the foreground or the background. Either way, you could sidestep along with them and then do your attack, and it will basically track the opponent. Now, really all that's happening here is timing of your move is changing. So sometimes, depending on how much tracking or how little tracking a move has, you can also realign attacks by just delaying the attack. So to give you an example, I could do this jab and then delay and do down forward 1. And a character may not be able to step it because I delayed the down forward 1. Where in other chances, they may, if I do 1 and down forward 1 immediately, they may be able to step it to whatever direction that it becomes weak to, right? But what we're going to specifically focus in on today is the need to have 2 crouch dash repetitions in your arsenal. Now we're going to do this by demonstrating King, who has a very weak crouch dash option. You can option select both of his or all of his crouch dash options using a simple sidestep into a block. Right? So first and foremost, let's look at crouch dash forward neutral 2, which is his low option out of crouch dash. And we're going to use our ability to step and figure out how can we make this tool actually useful. We're also going to use the crouch dash multi-throw, and we're going to use forward 1 out of crouch dash. So let's start with the crouch dash into forward neutral 2. You notice that I was able to see the crouch dash, react, and step. Now we're going to add in the crouch dash into the multi-throw, the other option that is going to cause your opponent to want to duck. I was a little delayed. All right, I sidestepped, crouch dashed and went low, crouch dash and went low, crouch dash and grab, and you see that both options are missing, right? Now you would say to yourself, okay, well, he has forward 1, which is a homing move. It's mid. So if I go into forward 1, then they will have to block mid, which means they can't duck. And because it's homing, they can't sidestep. Well, let's test that theory. We're able to avoid, able to avoid, able to avoid, and able to block. Able to avoid, and block. So that now puts a whole flaw in King's game plan, right? What is he really going to do, right? If he can't crouch dash on you and hit you with a low, he can't crouch dash and grab you, and his homing move, you have too much time to sidestep and block it. How can we make this an effective tool? Well, if you're in the neutral, the only way to really make this be effective is to change your timings or introduce another crouch dash. So what we're going to do here is we're going to add in a second crouch dash into forward neutral 2, which I already have programmed here for the purposes of these videos, because I ain't the best at execution, so I'd be messing this junk up. Video be 45 minutes long trying to show y'all one point. Anyway, let's get into it. So randomly, the computer opponent is going to crouch dash, and they're going to mix between a single crouch dash into the throw, a single crouch dash into the low, or a single crouch dash into the forward one. Sorry, I keep saying two. Mid homing attack. And finally, they're going to mix in a double crouch dash into the low. So let's check it out. All right, got us on the first go. We sidestepped and we blocked. We're still avoiding the single. Not hitting us with the single. Not hitting us with the homing move. But we are getting hit by the low. Oh, sorry, I didn't even get out of the way in time.
Got him!
All right, the low caught us. After a second crouch dash, we were able to get hit by the low. Now, you see it's becoming a little bit more difficult to time my step, because if I'm waiting on the second one, I'll get hit by the first, right? Now, if I know the second one is coming, I can still step it. I'll just have to step it at the last moment. But then if I'm doing that, I'm waiting and I'm going to get grabbed. So that's why it's important to have this. Now, does that mean that that's unblockable? No, it's not unblockable. They could sidestep, block the mid, and get out the way of everything, right? They got enough time to sidestep, block, and block low, and get away from the throw. So it almost seeming like his mix-up is useless, right? Almost seems that way. I could sidestep, block the mid, and block low at this last second. Able to avoid everything that the character has, that he's throwing at me, right? Able to get out of the way of everything. Now you're probably saying to yourself, well, then that would make King extra sorry, right? Because you could just block everything. Well, this is where we add in our final component, which is a crouch dash 2 times into a mid. Now, if you can crouch dash twice into a mid, because the opponent has to, they're taking so many frames to sidestep, block, and duck. This is how you get the mix-up to actually become a mix-up, right? Because if the opponent has to sidestep, block, duck, they won't have enough time to sidestep, block, duck, and stand back up. So we introduce the next portion, which is the crouch dash while standing both punches. Let's check it out. All right, we're able to get out the way. Still able to block and get out the way of everything. Oh, but we got caught. I can block the low. I can even get out the way of the first one. I can block the mid. I can get out of the way of the throw. Get out of the way of the throw.
Oh, man,
but if I try to block the low, you'll see I got uppercutted. So now the opponent has to choose, right? They have to choose, okay, if this person is going to be doing all of this stuff, maybe I'm just going to stand there and wait for the second crouch dash, right? So if we only put the second crouch dash options together, guess what happens? 1, 2, able to step both options.
What's really going on?
And then this is where you do the same thing. You introduce a third crouch dash. And you'll be able to beat these options, right? So for every extra crouch dash that you put into your repetition and put into your arsenal, you reset the mix-up. And after a while, what'll happen is the opponent will start trying to swing because they see that you are doing multiple crouch dashes in order to mix them up. and they'll be trying to attack you. And then that's where you institute a crouch dash into the push, or you just do the push immediately. But that's for another video. I appreciate you all coming and checking out the video. I hope you learned something. This applies to many characters in the game. Mishimas, anybody who has like various crouch dashing motions. This applies to all of those characters. The mix-up works the same. So if you did like what you saw here, go ahead and hit the like button. Leave a comment about any questions you may have about how this works, and or your experience and techniques that you might want to share, or that you would like to see and learn how they work with maybe a particular character that you play with. Do all that in the comment section. But in order to do that, you probably want to make sure you hit the subscribe and the notification bell, so that you'll know when I make that video that you requested. You know what I'm saying? Just, it kind of makes common sense. You know what I'm saying? Just do all of that. We're trying to get our subscriber base up so we can continue to bring you more and more content just like this. You already know what it is. The realm of the real, where only the real can chill. Peace.